Hey, everyone! Welcome back to another episode. Now, today's story might be one of my favorites ever told. It's the tale of a man known as Samson, a warrior like none other, a man of immense strength and unwavering spirit. But Samson wasn't just a regular man. She became infatuated with Samson and tried hard to win him over. But Samson, being cautious due to his upbringing, refused her advances. They invited Samson to their place under the guise of a friendly wrestling match. But really, it was a trap. While Samson was busy showing off his strength, they tied him up tight, making sure his famous locks were neatly shaved off. With his source of power gone, Samson became just an ordinary guy, no match for the Philistines. They put him in prison, planning to make an example out of him. He began to pray, pouring out his heart to God. They had never seen anything like this before. Their idols were supposed to be invincible, right? What was causing this destruction? Samson, too, was stunned. He couldn't believe what he was seeing. The walls were shaking, the pillars were bending, and the idols were falling. Samson's God showed them who was truly in charge. He didn't look back at the destruction he had caused. Samson's journey was complicated, full of highs and lows, victories and defeats. But through it all, he remained a symbol of unwavering spirit, teaching us to stay loyal to our beliefs no matter the cost. Instead, he walked away, head held high, ready to face whatever challenges lay ahead. He had regained his strength, not just physical, but most importantly, spiritual. Samson understood that true power comes from dedication and faith. It's not about tricks or traps, but about commitment to one's beliefs. It was a powerful display of divine intervention, a reminder that God doesn't tolerate mockery and he stands by those who trust in him. Everything the Philistines held dear was crumbling before their eyes. Hold on to your principles. Be loyal to your path and never lose faith in yourself. And if you enjoyed today's adventure with Samson, don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more exciting tales. Thanks for joining me on this incredible journey. Until next time, keep being you and keep chasing your dreams. He confessed his mistakes, asked for forgiveness, and promised to be a better follower. In his prayer, Samson made a vow. They panicked, fearing for their own safety. In that moment of terror, they wished they hadn't betrayed the one who would become a danger to their very existence. They struggled to escape, running in all directions as the temple shook violently. It was a scene of utter chaos and despair. The mighty Philistines, who just moments before were filled with arrogance and pride, were now terrified, helpless prey. He promised to honor God no matter what. He vowed to be faithful, to live by God's laws, and to always remember who truly had power. Little did he know that his prayer would shake the very foundations of that temple. Days turned into years with Samson losing his freedom and his reputation. Delilah wasn't one to take no for an answer, but as he counted, something changed him. He began to understand that his life wasn't just about brute strength. His voice echoed through the collapsing temple, a testament to his faith and resilience. He wasn't afraid because he knew that his God was in control. Samson's prayer had brought the temple crashing down, exposing the emptiness of the Philistines' worship. It was a lesson in humility and a reminder of the true power that comes from faith. They made Samson work as a slave, grinding grain in their mills, treating him like dirt. They were gathered in their temple, worshipping their false gods with all their might. The scene disgusted him. Here he was, a slave in their midst, forced to watch them worship false idols while his one true God was being ignored. Samson felt a surge of anger mixed with sadness. In that moment, he realized that his true strength wasn't just physical, it was spiritual. It came from his connection to God. Samson hated it, but deep down, a tiny ember of hope still flickered. Every time he heard the Philistines boasting, he thought about rising up, about proving them wrong. But it wasn't easy. He was tired, both in body and spirit, working tirelessly and getting nothing in return. All that strength, all those victories, all those battles, they seemed like a distant memory. Sure, that was cool, but it wasn't everything. He realized that following God wasn't about cool powers. It was about connection, about being part of something bigger than himself. She wanted Samson's love, and she wasn't afraid to use manipulation to get it. She kept pressuring him, trying every trick in the book until Samson finally broke. He admitted that his strength was rooted in his uncut hair, something his mother promised never to cut. Delilah secretly shared this secret with the Philistine rulers, hoping they'd capture Samson and end his heroic career. No, he was a Nazarite, meaning he was dedicated to God from birth. His life guided by strict rules laid down in the scriptures. For example, he was forbidden to cut his hair, drink alcohol, and most importantly, he couldn't associate with people from certain groups. Among these were the Philistines, a society that held power in ancient times. They lived close to the Israelites, and let's just say they weren't big fans of each other. They constantly fought over land and power, creating an atmosphere of distrust and hatred. But why did God choose Samson to be a Nazarite? You see, every human has the ability to choose their path. God doesn't force anyone to follow him, but when a person chooses to follow God, he gives them special powers. It's like agreeing to a challenge where the more effort you put in, the greater the reward. For Samson, his dedication meant extraordinary strength, which he used to protect his people, the Israelites. Throughout his life, Samson performed incredible feats. He killed wild animals barehanded, tore doors off their hinges, and even single-handedly defeated armies. He was a kind of superhero of the Bible, except instead of fancy suits or gadgets, he got his powers directly from God. One day, Samson met a woman named Delilah, a beautiful Philistine. And let me tell you, those Philistines were not messing around. But then something unexpected happened. Do you know that feeling when you're so bored you start counting the cracks in the ceiling? Well, Samson started doing the same. Meanwhile, the Philistines, they were throwing a victory party, gloating about their captive hero. One day, Samson found himself in the center of a huge crowd of Philistines. As Samson stood there, tears streamed down his face. Suddenly, the building began to tremble. The Philistines panicked, unsure of what to do. As the temple threatened to collapse, the Philistine rulers realized it was Samson, praying to his God. Who was behind the disaster? Meanwhile, Samson stood firm. He didn't run for his own safety. Instead, he continued praying. And guess what? The temple couldn't contain that power. It burst through the walls, shook the very foundations, and crumbled to dust. In the aftermath, Samson left the crumbling temple behind. His story teaches us valuable lessons about loyalty, faith, and the importance of staying true to ourselves. So the next time you face challenges, remember Samson.